Hello, dear children. So today we are going to go for the second lecture for transportation in humans and plants, and animals or plants, we can say. In the previous lecture, we have studied about blood, composition of blood, right? And the types of cells, RBC, WBC, and platelets. Now today we are going to discuss about first the functions of blood, and then we will discuss about the blood vessels which carry the blood to the different parts of the body, right? To understand this, first of all, we will start with the functions of blood, right? Okay. So the important functions of blood are, that is, functions of blood. The important functions of blood are, first of all, it carries oxygen to every cell of the body. That is a function of blood, because it's not possible for oxygen to reach each part of the body, right? So it get mixed with blood and then it will be carried out to the each and every cell of body, right? So carries oxygen to every cell of body. Okay, now we know that oxygen is used up. Now, when we exhale, carbon dioxide is released. Now, how do we collect the carbon dioxide that's exhaled from the body, right? So let's do that. Let's watch that also, that it collects carbon dioxide, right, as it sending or transporting the oxygen to each and every part of the cell. So it also collect carbon dioxide from all body parts, from all body parts, and we know that they go to for purification to the lungs and takes it to lungs, right, where it is removed. Okay, also we know that we eat food and we get the nutrients from the food, right? But how do these nutrients reach each and every part of the body? That is with the help of blood only. So what we can say, it supplies nutrients, okay, to every part of body, because each part need the nutrients for their growth. So how do they get? From the blood. Blood help them, blood supply these nutrients. Also, when we eat food, in chapter number 2 we have already done that how do the food is used up in the body, how do food is digested, right? Then the used food is used in the body and there is extra food which is not used, that is we call the waste products. So the blood also helps to remove waste products, right? तो बॉडी के अंदर जितने भी वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे, that the blood will help them to move out of the body. Okay, right? Then, as we have discussed in the previous lecture, that blood component, one component is there, that is WBC. So they help to fight infection. That's why they are known as the soldiers of the body, as I told you. So they help to fight infection. So dear children, so these are the main functions of the blood that you can learn and note it down. Okay. Now comes the blood vessels. We know that the blood needs the network as the water from the water tanks comes out, right? Same way, blood also needs to be carried out through the pipes, through the network of pipe, So what are these? Let me show you. These are, there is a structure which I'm going to show you of the blood vessels. Right now you can see here on the screen, there are three names mentioned. One is this red in color, artery. One is this blue in color, vein. And one is this, which is combination, where these two are combining with each other. That is known as capillaries. So dear children, we have blood vessels, right? So first of all, what are blood vessels? This is actually the network of tubes. That is, blood flows through a network of tubes right, called blood vessels. These tubes are called blood vessels. Okay. Now, one by one, we are going to discuss about these. First is arteries. So, dear kids, you can see I have mentioned here from heart. What's the meaning of this? From heart, they will collect what kind of blood? So, they collect the oxygenated blood rich in oxygen, that is oxygenated blood, right, from heart to different parts, right, all the parts they carry the blood from heart to different parts, right. Now as they are carrying the blood from the heart, and we know that heart is acting like a pump, right, so that's why the blood will be under high pressure. So that's why they are, what we can say is, they are thick wall. They have thick walls. Why they have thick walls? Due to this, because blood is under high pressure. So that's why, right. There is one exception, that is pulmonary artery. That is the only one artery which carries deoxygenated blood, means blood rich in carbon dioxide, which carries deoxygenated blood. This is the one mark question. Name the artery which carry deoxygenated blood. That is pulmonary artery, right? So they have the strong muscular walls, okay, and these arteries further divide or further branch, right, into smaller vessels, What are these vessels called? That are called arterioles. Always remember, arterioles, very important. Okay, so this is about arteries, right? Now we are going to discuss about veins. Now vein, you can see here, they are carrying the blood to heart. That means the blood will not be under high pressure as in case of artery. So they will be thin walled. Thick walls are not required here, right? First of all, we must write they carry deoxygenated blood. because they collect the blood from all the body parts, okay, and they carry this deoxygenated blood from body parts to heart, right? Okay. Then the more important is that these wall are not thick, okay, and one more extra feature they have valves, right, which allow blood to flow only in one direction, to flow only in one direction, कि एक ही direction में the blood will flow, it will not, that is towards the heart, right? Okay, so one more special feature, special or exceptional vein, that is pulmonary vein, right? They carry oxygenated blood, because normally veins carry deoxygenated blood. Only the pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood, right? So one is valve and one is this. They have thin walls, right? Thin walls also we can mention, thin walls, and they also divide or branches into veins, smaller vessels, branches into smaller vessels known as venules. Venules, right? That is all about arteries and veins, right? So dear children, one more we have, that is we call capillaries. You can see here capillaries. So I'm here only mentioning this in this portion so that all together you can learn. So capillaries are what? As you can see in the picture only, capillaries are fine branching blood vessels that forms a network between the arterioles and venules. You can see this is vein and these are venules. As I told you, mentioned here, venules, and these are arterioles, right? So network formed by venules and arterioles, that is known as capillaries, right? They carry blood at very low pressure. We can mention here capillaries carry blood at low pressure. At low pressure, okay, right? And they are responsible for exchange between the body cells and the erythrocytes. Oxygen passes through the capillary wall and into the tissues, and carbon dioxide passes from the tissue into the blood. So digested food and waste product are also transported across these. Digested food and waste products also transported here, and waste products also transported in this network. That is very, very important, that are transported, right? And capillaries, carbon dioxide also diffuses here, very important. Oxygen passes through the capillary wall and into the tissues, and carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood, so that both work are done here, right? So this point also we can note it down. O2, oxygen. Oxygen passes through the capillary wall, through the capillary wall, right? Then and then into the tissues, right? That is work done for the oxygen. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood, right? I am here also I'm mentioning, and CO2 from tissues into the blood, right? So dear children, try to understand oxygen passes through the capillary wall and into the tissues. So oxygen will pass through it and then it will pass to the tissues, right? Similarly, carbon dioxide will be collected and it will be passed to the from the tissues into the blood, and then from the blood it will get purified, right? So that is very, very important. These points you have to note it down and they are going to help you out. Okay, so now how to distinguish between these three blood vessels? Okay, so let's discuss these one by one, that arteries, veins, basis on their structure, function, and location, right? From here only, dear children, you can see, if I talk about structure के अंदर what I can include this thick walls, right? They are thick, strong elastic walls because blood flowing through inside them is at high pressure, right? And they do not have wall and don't have walls because walls are present in veins, right? Now, if I come to the structure for veins, what I can say for veins, they are thin walls, right? And they have walls that prevent blood from flowing in backward direction. And if I talk about the capillaries, their walls are only one cell thick wall. They do not have valve. Valve भी नहीं है, and जो walls हैं, they are only one cell thick. Then function, we know that they carry oxygenated blood. They carry blood from the heart to the different parts of the body. Veins carry all the parts to the human heart, right? And capillaries, I told you about this capillary function. So from here you can write down oxygen passes through the capillary wall and into the tissues, and CO2 from the tissues into the blood. Then third is location. Location is for arteries. They are located deep inside the body. They generally cannot be seen through the skin. Arteries को हम नहीं देख सकते, right? Whereas if I talk about veins, they are located closer to skin, right? So that's why they are visible. But actually they are not blue in color, as I told you the reason behind this. It's not true that they are blue in color. So capillaries form networks throughout the tissues of the body for the exchange of substances. So they are inside the body. That is network of arterioles and venules. They are combining with each other. Then they form the, what we can say, capillaries. Right?